Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Elise Reads and Speaks. Today's contestant on my bracket tournament is Michael. Mike and I actually went to high school together, and I don't think I've seen him since maybe like the summer after I graduated high school, but you know what? That's what Facebook is for. This is the nicest guy. We went to what's called project graduation together when he was a senior and I was a junior, and you're allowed to just take a friend, and he decided to take me. And I feel like that will just always stick in my mind as a really nice memory that the two of us had. Okay, so I hope that he picks something good for himself because he is a teacher, and I feel like if he picks a YA book that's good for him, like he will spread the word of YA to the male students in his classroom. So let us see what he chooses.
My name is Mike Gentile. I am a teacher in Buffalo, New York. I actually went to high school with Elise. We did drama together, and I've been following her videos for about a year now since I became a middle school teacher, and I've been really intrigued with getting more involved with the YA novels that she talks about, but just haven't had the time to really devote to reading more of them. And so I thought this was a really cool opportunity for me to challenge myself to read something I wouldn't normally pick up off the shelf for my own enjoyment, but rather be able to maybe enjoy it and be able to talk about it and suggest it to some of my students next year. So with that being said, I'm really excited to kind of look at some of the options Elise has kind of given me to sift through. So the first two books, the first one is After Their Planet is Attacked, a girl and a guy seek to escape while battling a mutating plague. That seems really interesting given the situation right now, that it might actually be very pertinent to kind of some of the experiences that my students may or may not be going through currently. The second book is A Girl Sees Things Other Mortals Can't and Discovers Her Angel Heritage. That sounds really interesting. I struggle a little bit with books that might have to do with like kind of like the dead or the dying or the undead kind of stuff, so that it kind of gives me that feeling.
Yeah.
That, she's seeing things on like maybe a different plane of existence, and I can't really wrap my head around a lot of that kind of stuff. So I'm actually going to go with book number 1, with the mutating plague. That sounds really intriguing to me right now. So the next two. The first one is A Girl Attends a Boarding School where she discovers her ability for witchcraft. And then a valuable dragon escapes from the community with her family and lives in secrecy. So I really love Game of Thrones.
Yes. So
the dragon thing is really intriguing to me. A valuable dragon escapes from the community.
they're not similar, but okay.
But the witchcraft is kind of interesting too. I'm going to go with the dragon. I'm going to go with book number 2 on that one.
You're my first one that sent it to the second
the next
round.
Set, an elite and the country's most wanted criminal join forces to take down the corrupted government. I always love when there's a book about a corrupted government. I feel like YA novels really like hone in on that really, really well. The second book, a girl is chosen from a poor community to compete with other girls for the prince.
Love that one, but I know what you're going to choose.
I feel like that's kind of like a take on maybe Cinderella. Gives me kind of a Cinderella vibe.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm feeling that one. I really like the corrupted government feel, so I'm going to go with book number 1 on that one.
Okay.
The next set, after deciding to end her life, a girl says goodbye to those who impacted her life. I'm feeling like that's going to be a tearjerker, and I don't know how excited I am about a tearjerker right now. So,
understandable.
I might have to pass on that one.
Okay.
The other one is a girl inserts herself into a virtual game and joins a famous team. Yeah, I mean, like, clear winner on that one.
That is like a boy book, right?
Game. Next set, a girl discovers she has powers and is taken to court to train with other magical people to serve the government. Ooh. So more government stuff. I'm liking that. She's got powers. It's not specific about what kind of power she's got, though, so I'm intrigued by that.
She's special.
The next one is a girl is dragged to a magical kingdom for killing a fairy. Maybe a little bit too fantastical for me. I know I talked about the dragons earlier, but
okay.
I don't know how much I'm feeling about the fairy stuff.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the first one.
Okay.
The powers and the training with magical people. Next set. Two girls are kidnapped and taken to a magical school. All right. Little vague. And then a girl with a mysterious past finds herself in the middle of an intergalactic battle. Wow. I'm liking the idea of being out in space. I just finished all of the Star Wars movies in quarantine, and I love Lost in Space right now, so I'm actually going to give that one as the win in that one.
All right.
So the intergalactic battle. Next set. In a world that has cured death and disease, pertinent, two apprentices are taught the art of killing. Okay. And then an assassin competes in a challenge to become the king's official assassin. I'm not really feeling either of those. But the first one kind of floats more toward, like, the COVID thing and, like... that's a hard one. I'm going to go with the first one.
Okay.
Curing death and disease, and then teaching the art of killing. We'll go with that
Probably a
one.
better choice for you.
And then the last set. A girl competes to be the favorite and discovers that beauty can be deadly. And then three sisters must kill one another to become queen. Game of Thrones for children. I'm really liking the idea of the Game of Thrones idea. Like these,
I love that
people
one.
kind of backstabbing each other. But I like the idea of beauty and like maybe kind of the theme of beauty being kind of intriguing.
Good. You're my first guy that has gotten that.
I'm really feeling the Game of Thrones one. I haven't had a Game of Thrones book in a long time. So I'm going to go with the three sisters trying to become queen.
All right. I love that one.
So back to Elise. Hopefully I picked 8 good ones, and we'll see what the next round brings.
All right. From what I remember of Mike, I think that he picked some good ones for himself. If he's into the battle aspect of Game of Thrones, I think Three Dark Crowns is a solid choice. Granted, that's one of my favorite series of all time, so I'm going to think it's a solid choice for anyone. I thought that his battle between Scythe and Throne of Glass was interesting. Throne of Glass has been compared to Game of Thrones, but if he's not really into the fantastical thing, then I don't think that's good, because there's fairies, there's witches, there's dark magic. That's probably a little too much for him, so Scythe was probably the better choice. I'm curious to see what you choose in round 2. All right, just got Mike's round 2.
All right, so round 2, I am really excited to kind of see what types of books I might have chosen for my final 8. So I've got 3 words from each book to kind of look through, and we'll see kind of what we've got here. So round 1, book 1, is media, AI, and space. And then the second book is desert, shape-shifting, and hunter. I'm really leaning toward the space one.
All right.
And the fact that media and robots, but mostly media, I'm really interested in the fact that media is involved and how media plays the part in how the story unfolds. So I'm going to go with book 1 on this first bracket. Bracket number 2. So the first book is Military, Republic, and Plague. And then book number 2 is Power Up, Phoenix, and Hacker. I think this is going to be the toughest one I'm going to have to decide between. Because I really like the Plague. I talked about that in the first round. I like the idea of kind of maybe connecting it and really like feeling the emotions and the experience of going through what I'm going through right now to what the book might be dealing with. And it obviously has a lot to do with government. And then the second book, the Phoenix obviously means like rebirth, right? So I'm really intrigued. The only thing is like the hacker piece. I'm not a big like computer science kind of person.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to use that piece to my advantage and go with the first book. So Military, Republic, and Plague.
Awesome.
And then bracket number 3, the first book is Darkling, Fold, and Deer. I have no idea what fold means or what context that has in the thing. But it's intriguing to me. So like that word just seems very like basic, and so I'm like, well, what would fold have anything to do with a book synopsis? But interesting. Book number 2 is Cyborg, Moon, and Disease. So I'm thinking, okay, cyborg is the same as the robot thing, and then moon is space, disease.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like the first book's not giving me enough to like pull me in.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with book number 2, Cyborg, Moon, and Disease.
All right.
And then bracket 4, book number 1 is Robe, Restart, and Glean. And then the second book is Elements, Poison, and Animals. This one's hard. I'm wondering if the elements is like the science elements or if it's like fire, ice, water, earth elements.
More like that.
Because that's intriguing to me. Robe, wow, these are really big. I'm gonna go with Elements, Poison, and Animals.
All right.
Book number 2. Okay, so I've now narrowed it down to 4 books. I'm really excited to see what kind of character names come out of this. So I'm looking forward to round 3.
Okay, so he has 3 out of 4 that have not won in anybody else's bracket. So he did choose the Lunar Chronicles, which that one won in Adam's bracket, but he also has Illuminae. I realized that he is my first one that's had Illuminae at all. I don't know why that book hasn't made it onto anyone's list, but his is going on to round 3, so that's exciting. He's also got Legend, and then what was the last one that he chose? He chose 3 Dark Crowns. Okay, which I am a huge fan of that series. From what I know about Mike, what do I think you'll like best? Ooh, that one's tough. Maybe the Lunar Chronicles you'd like best? And it's like I don't want you to pick that one just because somebody else has picked it, but I kind of think you would like that one best. Oh, I don't know. This is tough. Oh, I did want to say that you were saying about the media and Illuminae, you like that was one of the 3 words. Just in case this doesn't make it all the way, the reason that I included that word is because the entire book is mixed media. Like, you're not just reading a regular novel. There are like transcripts, there are pictures, there are diagrams. Like, it's really cool. And I feel like media really sums up what that book is all about. All right, this is exciting. Okay, let's see what you pick for round 3. Okay, no, I changed my answer. I changed my final answer because I just had this like flashback memory of sitting at a drama party and Mike was kind of like coaching the entire room in a game of Mafia and we played it for hours. And I feel like if he's that into the death and destruction, he would love 3 Dark Crowns. So that's the one that I'm going with that I think he would like the most. Just needed to change my answer before we watch his 3rd round. Which, by the way, like, this is all in one day. Like, so far I have filmed round 1, round 2, and I just got his round 3 in one day. I mean, this might be the first video that we shoot all in one day because he is all about it, and I love that. All right, let's see what you got for round 3.
All right, so round 3, I'm really excited to see what names pop up for these books. So there's 4 books left. So first bracket, the 2 names. Let's just jump right into it here. Aiden and June, which tells me nothing about either of those. So, wow, this is definitely harder than I expected. So Aiden, I really like the name Aiden. The name Aiden resonates very strongly with me.
All right.
But June's actually the month I was born in.
Oh,
and I just love that name. I just love, it just is a very, pretty solid name. So I'm torn. I'm really torn on this one, surprisingly enough. So I'm going to go against kind of my gut here, and I'm actually going to go with June.
Ooh.
Because it was the month I was born in. I feel like that's pulling me. There's a reason why she's here. So I'm going to choose June. And then the second bracket is Thorn versus Arsinoe. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Arsinoe. That's fine.
I really love the name Thorn. Like, what a cool, strong, and it also makes me think of conflict a little bit, and that the personality is probably going to be
he's wonderful,
pretty sharp and edgy.
Yeah.
Although Arsinoe is a kind of a cool. It almost feels like it's maybe like a take on arsenic. Because there was a story about poison that I picked, so that's interesting. I'm trying to match them back to other brackets, but I'm feeling more strongly about Thorn. So I'm going to go with June and Thorn for my final 2, and we'll see kind of what I'm left with for round 4.
All right, fine. It's not that I don't like Thorn. Thorn, I feel like if Thorn was a real person in real life, that would be my soulmate. That is who I would want to end up with. Okay, so Thorn's wonderful. I just wanted you to pick Arsinoe because, like I just said, I thought 3 Dark Crowns you would like the most. But it's okay because I first thought Lunar Chronicles and you just had Lunar Chronicles go through. So we are Legend versus Lunar Chronicles. Oh gosh. All right, let's see what you choose. Final round. I'm going to put my guess in. My guess is that he's going to choose Lunar Chronicles. I put dystopian versus sci-fi fairy tale, and I feel that he'll see the word fairy tale and go for that one. I could be wrong, but let us see.
Okay, so sorry it got dark. I just got super excited. I got the final email from Elise, and I am beside myself with the 2 choices that I have. So the final decision is between dystopia. Clearly, I mean, what YA novel, good YA novel, isn't a dystopian at this point. So that's super exciting. And then the other one is sci-fi fairy tale, which is hilarious because I was actually trying to avoid fairy tales, or the retelling of fairy tales, I guess. So
it's so
good. Toward the end, I'm thinking dystopian, but I'm also really intrigued because all of the choices that I've made up until now have clearly been ones that have interested me. So
okay, what are we doing?
I'm really torn because I love dystopian. I love The Giver. I loved Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure neither of those are this final choice. I don't remember any of their names being June or Thorn. But then I'm thinking the whole Thorn thing. I'm thinking is fairy tale, which is hilarious because I really have been trying. I'm like, oh, that sounds like Cinderella. Nope. So here I am with a fairy tale, which is just so intriguing. I want to pick it because I was avoiding it, but I got it anyway.
What are we doing?
It's really exciting. And I have a feeling that it might actually be the one that I've been thinking about, throughout all of this.
And what's that?
So I'm actually intrigued to pick it, but I love dystopian novels, but I feel like I need, like, my whole goal of this was to really just totally read something different, and I've been trying to avoid fairy tales, so maybe this is just telling me something that I should just pick it.
Are you picking it?
I have a feeling it's Cinder.
It is.
I'd be okay with it because it's been kind of on my bucket list, but it keeps getting kind of like shoved to the bottom for weird reasons. Just my reading list just keeps getting longer and longer, and I keep pushing YA novels to the bottom, and that's always been one that's kind of been on that shelf, and I've stared at it a couple of times, and I just never grabbed it. And so this would be forcing me to read it. But I'm really intrigued about what the dystopian novel is too. So I know Elise will tell me what both of them are, and I'll see it in my video. But this video got much longer than I thought.
Yes.
I should just read both.
Yeah.
For the sake of the game, and for the sake of I trust Elise's decisions, and I trust her expertise in this, because even as a reader and as a writer, I am not 100% great at YA novels and, like, what, especially the more modern ones. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with the sci-fi. I'm gonna go with the sci-fi fairy tale.
Yes.
I think it's Cinder.
It is.
And if it's Cinder, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
It'll force me to read it. But I'm really intrigued with the dystopian is. But I'm going with the fairy tale. Final answer. Thank you, Elise, for letting me be part of this. It was a lot of fun, and I look forward to actually doing the review video of the book that I am being asked to read.
Oh, so, good. I'm so glad.
Thank you so much, and I hope this is a really awesome experience. Thanks, Elise. Bye.
That was the longest fourth round that I've gotten thus far. I enjoyed the back and forth. I really did. But you were absolutely right. Your choice is Cinder. Okay, listen, I know that you have been putting it at the bottom of your shelf and just kind of like shoving it back. Dude, pick it up, open it, read it. It's so good. I will say one thing though, like, since you already pretty much know what it's about, yeah, it's a fairy tale retelling. Cinder is the first in the series, and I really enjoy Cinder. I really do. But I will say, after finishing the entire series, it's like easily the weakest book in the series. Honestly, the books only get better and better and better. The way that they interweave these fairy tale clues of like which fairy tale belongs to which set of people, it's so clever, and it's just such a fun ride. And I know that here it's classified more as youth, but actually I recently found out that Canada, I guess, puts it as YA. I think it goes both ways. Like, I see it as YA, but I also understand why it's youth, because it's fairy tale. It's, it's keeping it a little classy. You're not going to find any racy sex scenes in here. But man, it's so good. Hands down, my second favorite series behind Harry Potter, and I really think you will enjoy it. And thank you so much for playing my game. I cannot wait to hear what you think about this book. And for the rest of you, thank you for tuning in to Elise Reads and Speaks. I will catch you next time, guys. Bye!